And they're all running Android.
They're all running Android.
That
yeah, that's, well, you know, our sources are telling you that actually the Windows CE is still really popular. Surprisingly enough, with all the buzz and everything going on around Android, but most of the devices you will either dual boot or at least have the Android on it to start off with. And you know, until last month we were seeing mostly Android 1.6, and now the devices that we're getting in our hands for preview and reviews are mostly the 2.1. So these guys are kind of moving quickly. And I think that's what makes kind of the interesting challenge for what's going to happen in the tablet market is you can see very easily Apple's got it controlled and set the pace and defined the high end of the market and taken the early portion of it. The middle playing OEMs, you can see with the things like the Dell Streak is maybe a good example, is starting to come up now around $500 without the contract. And some of the other players are making noises, HP, Acer, Asus, everyone's talking about
Samsung will come out with a tablet in September.
Those guys are coming out as well, but you can see again here at the end of the lower end of this spectrum, these guys are rushing around. They're making faster updates. I mean, the quality is still not quite as good, but you can see already in the products that we're reviewing that the quality's improved. The chassis on the devices we were reviewing 3 months ago were nothing compared to the chassis that we've got on the devices now.
This is pretty neat here.
Yeah, that one looks like a cigarette case.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So the build quality is one piece that's really improved. The software updates are really improving. The system-on-a chips are improving a little bit slower pace.
Yeah.
The really weak spot for me, where there's improvement could be even better, is in the battery life. This still seems to be one of the areas where, to keep the prices low, that these guys have chosen mainly not very good batteries. And some of these devices that we've ripped open have space for bigger batteries. One of them we ripped open actually had 2 batteries jammed inside of it, and it did have longer battery life. So, you know, depending on that scale of what you're willing to pay, what you're willing to live with, it's kind of different options for you. This one's got a removable battery in it, and actually it's probably the best product we've seen in sort of battery life.
That's very cool.
And that one, I think if you could have a removable battery in your iPad,
for how long does this one run?
You'd be happy. This one I would say is 4 hours.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
And that's like a $150 device, right?
This device is priced closer to $200.
Okay.
Right? You got the expensive, better battery, you got to go up the price a little bit. You go for the lower battery, you get to drop the price down. You can see the products run basically anywhere from $100 to $250 range, depending again on the various quality levels.
What I really like with all these Shenzen tablets, besides this little, not even sure if this is a tablet or if it's an MID, is that most of them have a matte screen, right? So non-glossy screen, especially when you're mobile. And actually this one has even stereo speakers, so if you have an iPad at home and you know that there's only one speaker on one side of the case, that's quite different.
Yes, and I think stereo speakers, actually you see that they've got on this design as well, seems to be a typical thing. Audio quality through the speakers though, I think that's another place where they like to save a little bit of money. I think you want to be using your headphones with these devices. But I guess another trend we're seeing that's really popular is that there's a lot more 7-inch size devices. And what that says to me is, yes, your tablet and your sofa surfing experience, iPad is defined, is quite good, and there's going to be tablets available for that. But they're thinking that these devices could be a bit more portable and take with you. And when you are taking with you, then you probably should use your headphones if you're on the subway. I don't want to hear your music, trust me. And so that part is fine. For a 7-inch device, I think that suits it well. And 7 inches is still a little bit better for web browsing. I think you get a bit more of experience with the screen real estate. For me, I'm a big fan of putting my hand up for a 7-inch device.
Oh, absolutely. I think 7 inches is a sweet spot for a tablet right now because it's very mobile. I mean, I wouldn't say that a 10-inch system is so mobile at all. You can't put it in
your sofa surfing versus a really portable device, I think. And I bet you Apple's going to come out with some 7-inch size devices. I think they're not going to.
Oh, I'm sure about that.
Yeah,
absolutely. They have to.